Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradetolive.com and welcome to this week's quote of the week video. Now before we dive in, just some quick side notes. First of all, you will see that my background right now has changed compared to other videos. That is right now I am actually in my new apartment. The video on how I exactly manifested that, I uploaded this like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, so you can check out the video right here if you haven't watched this manifestation story yet. And also from now on, very soon there will be a third type of video that I will release on a channel, right? We have the Sunday, more longer, more detailed, specific videos. Then we have the Wednesday quote of the week series, which I would like to continue because I think it's a really nice piece of wisdom and some more shorter, wisdom nuggets. And soon there will be also, live Neville lectures, like recordings from his live lectures that I will condense to like 4 to 5 to 10 minute little snippets that you can then listen to, regarding certain topics, obviously, right? And easy to understand. So with that, let's just dive into this week's quote. Now, the quote is pretty long, don't be shocked, but it is a super powerful one. So I want to go with you through that step by step. Stick with this quote because alone this quote again, explains so much in just one quote. Okay, so I'm going to read it, then I'm going to explain it and comment on it so that you can, start to apply it. Now, Neville said, "So when you know what you want, remain faithful to that assumption. And the assumption, though denied by your senses and denied by reason, if you persist in it, it will harden into fact. Are we not told that God calls a thing that is not seen as though it were seen, and then the unseen becomes the seen? He calls everything from the unseen into the seen, for he is the resurrecting power. So if I assume that I am, I don't have to have evidence to support it. I simply assume that I am. Having given it name, form, definition, remaining in it, I resurrect it. And if it takes 1,000 men to aid the birth of that strait, 1,000 men will play their part. I don't have to go look for them." Right? So that's this week's quote. I'm sure you right now agree with me that this is a kind of a special one, a really powerful one. So let's go through this, right? What is Neville saying here? What does this mean? Now, first of all, he starts right when you know what you want, which is by now, if you follow this channel, if you watch some of my other videos, you know that this is always, the first thing. We have to know what we want, right? The desire is the key. The desire is, in a sense, the driving force. Without desire, there is no improvement, there is no change, there is no manifestation, right? Where there is no desire, there is no movement, basically. So you know what you want. You have a desire, right? This can be anything. And remain faithful to that assumption. So what assumption, right? Basically the assumption that you already have it. But Neville gives us great indications, great explanations on how we can assume something even though we aren't it yet, even though we don't have it yet manifested, right? So the assumption, though denied by your senses and denied by reason, right? First of all, when you start to assume something new, when you start to assume that you are financially stable, when you assume that you're financially secure, when you assume that you are healthy, when you assume that you are in a happy, committed, great relationship, right? When you assume other specific or other general desires, no matter what you assume right now, this assumption, if it is not in your world right now, it will be denied instantly. Like this is nothing crazy or nothing actually to worry about. It is natural that your mind, that your reasoning, that your rational, analytical, human mind will deny things, right? And will try to convince you that it is not here yet, that you are not it yet. This is normal. Why is this the reason? Because the mind only takes its cue from the senses, only takes its cue from what's currently in front of it. But it can't, in a sense, penetrate through that what the senses perceive. Whereas with imagination, we can go beyond that and see, the unseen and experience the unseen and experience things that are not manifested yet, right? So your assumption, they will, first of all, be denied by your senses, right? and by reasoned mind. Your mind will tell you this is not possible. You have to do, first of all, this, and that. Or this, and that, and then this, and then that has to happen first in your world before you can experience the manifestation. That is how your reasoning works. However, if you persist in that assumption, right, basically against your mind, without force or hard work, but if you persist in the assumption, which is in a sense denied by your senses, it will harden into fact. Why? Okay, let's just right now go into the why. Why is this actually the case? Okay, we know what we want. We assume we are it, even though we have no proof. There's no evidence, but we still assume it. So how does this work? Are we not told that God calls a thing that is not seen as though it were seen, and then the unseen becomes the seen? Right? So what is meant by God? What is meant by God is your imagination, whatever you are aware of, whatever you draw into your awareness, right? Are we not told that basically your imagination calls a thing that is not seen as though it were, right? What enables you to experience the unseen? What enables you to perceive something and conjure something in front of your mind's eye, even though it is not manifested yet? That is God in action. That is your imagination. Remember, imagination is spiritual sensation. Imagination is seeing with the eye of God, is seeing with the eye of the Creator, is seeing with the eye of our infinite self, right? It's seeing the unseen, but that still exists, right? It's just not seen with your human reasoning mind and with what the senses can see, okay? And this is what your imagination does, right? It calls a thing that is not seen as though it were seen, okay? And then the unseen becomes seen because you persist in that unseen reality, right? That unseen thing that your imagination perceives, that you can imagine, that is basically the unseen reality. And the faith to that unseen reality, that is what also lets it, reflect in the 3D world, pushes it out, manifests it. You get it mirrored back, whatever you want to call it, right? But this is what Neville's meant by, faith does not give reality to things, which means that what your senses experience is reality. No, faith is loyalty to the unseen reality, right? And so then the unseen becomes seen. He calls everything from the unseen into the seen, right? He is just a personification of your imagination, of your true self, okay? For he is the resurrecting power, right? What is the resurrecting power? The resurrecting power is you, right? Is your awareness, is your imagination, is wherever you are within. That is what you resurrect, whatever you are aware of. If you are aware of the state of poverty, then you will resurrect poverty in your life. This is what the mirror will reflect back to you. If you place your awareness, your imagination, if you fuse it with something else, you get reflected this back to you, right? Your state is always expressed. Watch your video I did called Your State and Your Life Reflects Your Chosen State of Consciousness. You can watch this video above. So if I assume that I am, I don't have to have evidence to support. That's the great thing, right? We don't need evidence, right? People want science, people want proof, people want to see movement, people want all of that, but this is not needed, right? The evidence is already there, right? Faith, if you already have faith, that's already a sign that you already experience it, that it already is real. You can't have faith in something, you can't be convinced of something, you can't have knowing about something that you don't believe in, that does not already exist. That's universally not possible, right? So faith is the evidence that it is already done, right? And even if you have no evidence from your senses to support it, you can still assume that you are it, right? You don't need evidence from the senses, right? I don't have to have evidence to support it. I simply assume that I am. No pressure, no forcing the mind, no flipping thoughts, no affirming 24/7. No, I assume that I am what I want to be. I ask myself, what would it be like if I would be right now this? What would it be like if I would right now have this? And then I go into it. I imaginatively experience it. I will feel the joy. I will feel the satisfaction. I will feel the relief. It's done. I go about my day. Great. Right? The desire maybe comes up again. I don't panic. I don't trip up on this. No, I just go into the end, into the fulfillment again, into the experience of that end again. Right? I simply assume that I am until it becomes natural. Right? Watch the video I did on the feeling of naturalness, because that is basically what is required so that the bridge can unfold and that your state expresses. Now, having given it name, form, definition, basically meaning you having defined your desire, you having imagined it, you having done the steps. Remaining in it, I resurrected, meaning remaining in that state of the wish fulfilled, remaining in that end state, remaining loyal to it, which is also not hard work, right? It's if a state becomes natural, it's great to remain in it. It's not that you have to fight for that desired end state, okay? And now he says, and if it takes 1,000 men to aid the birth of that state, of that desire, 1,000 men will play their part. I don't have to go look for them. What does this mean translated basically? Meaning you don't have to find out what exactly is going to happen. You don't have to work out any ways. You don't have to worry about the how, right? Watch the video I did on the how is not your concern. The how doesn't matter. This is super important because many people get tripped up on how and when and what exactly and what do I need to do. It's not up to you, right? If we speak from the premise that imagining creates reality, then this is all not your job, right? Your job is to imagine the end, right? This is the solution. This is the key, but we overcomplicate it. And then it becomes hearsay and we say, oh yeah, imagination creates reality. And we've heard it thousands of times, but do you actually apply it? Do you actually live by this principle, right? And if you do, then you don't ask anyone, you don't look for anyone, you don't wait for anyone. No, you just boldly claim that you are what you desire to be. And that is your only job as the operant power, right? Your only job is to pick, right? That is godly, that is divine, you pick. Whereas the victim worries and questions. Whereas, if you're godly, you just pick of what's already available for you, right? Creation is finished. And whatever needs to be happen to express that desired state that you shifted into will happen. And it's not up to you. So do what is your only duty. Go to the end. You will remain faithful to it. Which is not a task, which happens, it's like a result, right? You experience something again and again and again, and then this knowing, this certainty, this belief starts to grow, and then you will automatically remain faithful to it, okay? And yeah, whatever needs to happen, whoever needs to play their part, whatever needs to be done, whoever needs to come into your life, or whatever needs to happen to express that state and whatever, the bridge of unfolding will look like, you will end up having your goal. That is what this quote explains to us, right? And yeah, I think, the most interesting part, for me, best part is that are we not told that God calls a thing that is not seen as though it were seen, and then the unseen becomes the seen, right? Your imagination is that. Your imagination is what Neville calls God. That is, in a sense, you, right? So that's it for this quote of the week video. I think this was a really powerful one. I will conclude it with that. I think we talked enough, and this was actually straight to the point, right? If you need any help, first of all, you can check out the 2 links in the description. First one is my free masterclass where I give you a no BS, a no woo-woo, a no hype talk and explanation on how you can manifest your goals, how you can live more self-empowered and free, and use this for whatever comes up in your life, whatever you want to manifest. And if you want to work with me directly, then you can also apply for my program. That's the second link in the video description. You just enter your data and you apply for a free consultation call with me or my team. And then we find out if we are a good fit to work together. So that's it for this video. I speak to you in the next video. Bye guys.